I hope you can hit me over all this. I'm enjoying it anyway, don't worry. Right, this one is all about weathering. So we get the tracks on and get some mud on it. This is sort of the last shot where we were in the last episode. So here you get an idea of so far so good and the basic model kind of done. So now we'll begin a process. And once the weathering's done, we'll put some stowage on. There we go. Well, I wanted some globular mud, and I've been working on that. So we're nearly there. Here's one side. I want the majority of the mud to be at the back, because that's where it's going to be pulling up fresh clods of muck. I want it to be a kind of soupy combination of sand and clay, which I think is alright. And on both sides I've just got to do the front end, which is going to have far less, but obviously there's going to be spatter under the mud guard. So that's the plan. It's going pretty much as I'd hoped. I think that's alright. Just a little bit more painting to do. And then I've got to do similar at the back. So clods of mud clinging on around those two. And then we should be there. I have got some underneath. So so now the blasted thing rocks like mad. So if I take it out and get some outdoor pics, it's going to what's it going to do? It's going to just blow around, isn't it? It's going to rock about in the wind. There we go. A little bit more painting in general to do on this as well, but there we are, coming along. And I should have mentioned, because of the rather dish-shaped nature of these wheels, they're going to collect quite a lot of mud. So I'm dropping a bit of that in there, and as you can see, just a bit on the front area. This front, this foremost wheel, I've got a bit of grot in there, but just to counterbalance, very little. There is some, you can just see a bit, a web, kind of web at the bottom there, and a few other little bits and pieces. The other thing is, now I've started fiddling about this much, it means the gap that was there, which I think I mentioned, certainly noticeable in some of the shots, therefore I'm going to have to fill, so I've filled that as well. So I'm straying well off the path that I'm meant to be following, which is just straight out of the box, but there we go. So it's coming along nicely. I'm going to stop this soon without all the baggage and say, right, that's it, and then do a kind of stowage baggage film separately. And I know I said it before, but it's worth emphasising, therefore I shouldn't have put them on, but I can't get them off. Moving on to other topics, that's the filler, but better principles. But I haven't used that on its own, where it's very thick along there and there, particularly on this side. I've used damp kitchen tissue stuff, what's it called? You know, anyway, the big sheets of thicker tissue. And I have absolutely put lashings of PVA glue into it and then put filler just on the external surfaces so that it conforms in texture. So I think we're moving on okay. I'm going to have to repaint all that down there, but I'll probably put white in, because if you're slopping white paint around it will settle in grooves like that. So there we go, gradually getting there. Brown this off, all this new mud, white on there, and I think that might be it. It's a really weird, rotten day today. Perhaps that works for a snow camouflaged tank. The sun doesn't seem to have quite come up ever. I was up at 10 to 5. Everything's pitch black this time of year naturally, but then the sun seemed to come up in the wrong place, and you can probably see in the background a streak of light. That's the complete opposite direction to where the sun should come up. That's all the light we've got. Anyway, meanwhile, tank, mud, snow camouflage. So there is a magnificent Russian monster. Winter camouflage. Imagine it's just turning, the weather's, or the snow's just turning to slush, and the tank is churning everything up. So there it is. That's the image I want. And I think it's gone okay. As far as building it is concerned, it's a typical Tamiya in that it's really pretty good, but there's always some problem or another. So there was the big seam down there, which I've filled. That really didn't want to go. There's a big gap there. And then, while I've been doing all this, I've opened that up again, but that's more to do with me and glue. So apart from that, it's alright. It's very good. Magnificent tank. I know it's not considered, you know, Russia's finest hour, and it was superseded by others, but let's face it, come on. They've seen what the Germans are doing, they've got their own ideas, and they are, you know, they're coming up with this. Very low profile, pretty big gun. That's what you want. Well done. I'm impressed. I like it. And the cat is meowing. I wouldn't want to come up against one of these, particularly in another tank, obviously. Gradually then, as the tank builds up and the stowage gets put on, there'll be more painting, weathering. Oh look, there's one of those de-icer things, what are they called? Snowplow jobs, salting. And there's the cat, not getting any attention. Anyway, so yeah, as the stowage gets put on, then there'll be more painted weathering, and so that will then get applied to the mud as well. So gradually we'll start to highlight it a bit, although I do quite like this monochrome quality. So there we have our tank pretty much done as it comes from the box, and we're just gradually seeing it build up and lose some of its individuality. So thanks for watching, see you again soon, bye!